The second rule to remember: always be positive when judging the reasons for your dog's actions. Being positive reflects your proper knowledge and application of the 10 basic rules. Being right about a dog's thoughts and actions is a powerful advantage in bringing up your dog. Guesswork or being wrong could set him back anywhere from a month to a lifetime. Following are just 10 of many ingrained beliefs about dogs' actions. If you're fairly observant, you should be at least half right in a true and false quiz. A person who knows his animals thoroughly should be correct on 8 or 9 of them. But being right is only a small part of this exercise. The important thing is to know why you are right or wrong. 1. When choosing a dog, always ask the advice of a friend. Now that's false. The dog won't be living with your friend. A dog should always be acquired for one purpose and one purpose only: to fulfill a desire of the individual or the family. No one should ever recommend a particular dog to a particular family based on what he has been happy with. Some important considerations, however, are the following: how big will it be when it is grown? How much food will it consume? What is the cost of its upkeep, including food, shots, grooming tools, and so forth? What environment is it being brought up in? The ages of the children in the family? The type of neighbors? Is there a consistency of happiness in the family? Who in the family is going to be responsible for the dog's upkeep and education? And finally, is the dog being purchased for an interim period only? The second statement: a dog can learn the difference between colors. This is a true statement. A dog may not have the same physical tools to tell colors as a human has, but he has the same learning capacity to differentiate between them. If a human is initially taught that red is white, then it is common sense to believe that all his life white will be red, and also common sense to realize that a color, for identification purposes, is nothing more than what we have been taught. I teach my dog that a certain object is blue. What he sees it as is immaterial to me as long as when I say, "Get me something which is blue," he can get it. The third statement: a barking dog never bites. Absolutely not true. Because a dog barks, there is no assurity that he won't bite, any more than a man won't hit you because he's talking. Sometimes barking is a ruse to get your mind off the real intent. Barking with some dogs is spontaneous and could be the result of a chain reaction in a neighborhood of dogs. When a dog is barking and you approach it, or it approaches you, always watch to see that your every movement is natural and not too fast. The fourth statement: a wagging tail indicates friendliness. Now, this is not necessarily true. A wagging tail denotes only that there is a relationship between the dog's mind and his physical makeup. It does not tell you what is on his mind at that particular moment. A wagging tail could denote happiness, but the rapid reflexes of a dog could cause him to bite before the tail was even notified. The fifth statement: a dog jumps a fence primarily to escape confinement, and he should be punished immediately upon return. Now, neither of those thoughts are true. I'd say it would be rare for a dog to jump a fence merely to get out of his enclosure. Something or someone has drawn his thoughts and desires. The fence is only an obstacle in his way. The dog who leaves his yard without permission and returns without being called cannot be punished upon his return unless you are positive that leaving rather than returning is on his mind at the exact moment you punish. Now, if you punish him when he is thinking how nice it is to be back in his own yard and how nice it is to see you again, then you're bound to force him to change what is on his mind. He now suspects that if he is being punished for returning home, you must want him to stay away. So his mind thinks back to what drew him away. At that particular moment, you have finished punishing him, and you feel a bit sorry, so you pet him. You have now petted him with his mind on what you don't want him to do, and punished him for what you want him to do. And you've got a confused dog on your hands, and one who may leave the moment your back is turned, because he believes he was punished for coming home. Instead of curing, you've created the problem. Number 6, always put a hand out in greeting when approaching a dog. Now, this could be very dangerous. Anyone who approaches a strange dog with a hand extended is actually asking to be bitten. No human should ever approach a dog. Let him approach you. Then you at least have a pretty good chance of having the mind of the dog on you. But if you approach him, your movements may be slow and cautious, therefore threatening to the dog. A dog who has been slapped for punishment may bite an extended hand from a subconscious reflex. Number 7 says a shy dog never can be cured. This is not true. Many kennel dogs are shy. It is often the easy way out for the dog owners to blame too much shyness on improper breeding. I've had my share of dogs that were shy at the start. Each was able to rid himself of the problem by building confidence from within. This means training him to do small things which he can take pride in, and which will take his mind off the reason for the shyness. Number 8 says neutering or spaying cures a dog from its bumming ways. No one can prove that a spaying or neutering operation has ever corrected the wandering habits of a dog. Common sense tells me that proper upbringing of a dog will keep a dog from ever wandering. I live in a neighborhood of many dogs. There are 3 females directly to the south of me. And when they're in heat, I notice that there is a grouping of male dogs to the farm. Yet not one of my dogs goes through the open gate to visit, and not one of them are neutered. Number 9. You should start teaching your pup at 6 weeks. Now, actually you start training, not teaching a pup at 6 weeks of age. A dog isn't ready to have his mind challenged until he is at least 7 months of age. He may be conditioned to such a degree that an owner may believe he knows what he's doing, but tomorrow he may have forgotten the majority of the things you thought he knew, and you might accuse him of being plain bullheaded. Nothing but confusion results from taxing a dog's mind too rapidly. And finally, 10. When housebreaking a puppy, rub his nose in it. Now, the secret to housebreaking a dog in 48 hours is nothing but constant observation. It means never allowing him to have that first accident in the house. There's no need to punish, to scold, or to rub his nose in the mess. Before allowing him into the home for the first time, make sure he relieves himself in the area you desire him to use. Once he is inside, you should never be more than an arm's length away as long as the dog is moving. Be prepared to pick him up at the first sign of a squat. Carry him outside through the same door you entered, all the while talking to him in a complimentary manner. Be sure you take him within a foot of the exact spot he previously went, or you may find he'll be distracted by other visual objects and actually forget that he has to relieve himself. When you retire at night or any other time that you leave him for as little as 10 seconds, place him in a crate which is only large enough to allow him to lie down comfortably. Never conclude that because he just went outside that you can have a moment's relaxation from your job of observation. Remember, if the pup deposits that first time in the house, you actually have given him permission to do it by not being present to tell him he was doing wrong. Now, if you think the effort of this constant observation is too difficult, remember that 2 days is only a short time. It's not as difficult and smelly as a long-term association with a dog who messes in every room of the house.